So today I'll be unboxing and assembling the Batman Rebirth figure from Night Models, which is based on the Rebirth series from DC Comics. So, put this away. We have a body, a base, and two arm pieces. I'm going to need to remove this, drill pins into the feet to base on there. We also have two cards. We have a Batman Miniatures game card and we have a DC Universe card to allow playing with both game systems. For the DC Universe you've got Infiltrator, Master Tactician, Mastermind, Stealth and Strategist. He's got Batarangs, which ensnare and home, range 8, damage 1, reinforced gloves for damage 2, sneak attack once per game for damage 4. But that also has a range of up to 4, I think, looking at that. He's got resistance 1 against range energy attacks. He's got a back claw that he can use once per turn to displace 12 inches away. He can take for 2 power from any enemy 1 immunity or resistance, which means that Kryptonians, things like that, can lose their resistance to physical until the end of the round, or give them Distract 2, Awkwardness 2, Dazzle 2 or Ensnare 2. The Dark Knight immediately moves this model up to 4 inches. Until the end of the round the model can only be attacked by enemy models in base contact. So that's once per game, same as sneak attack is once per game. But once per turn you can displace 12 inches, and within range 8 you can strip an immunity or a resistance from an enemy model, which is great for taking down things like Kryptonians, great for taking down things like Darkseid, great for using in a combination with other characters to strip an immunity to something and then pound them with physical damage or energy damage. So let's have a look at his card for Batman Miniatures game. He's 150 rep with 0 funding. Enemies can only see this model if they are within 15 centimetres. So this looks like it's before the change to second ed, because it's still got things in centimetres. He's got 3 ammo, 2 stun on his batlings. He's got Bat Armour Mark 1, Bat Cape, Bat Claw, Detective Informer, Martial Artist, Reinforced Gloves, Self-Discipline, Sneak Attack and Sneaking. You can force your opponent to activate a model first every turn, which you can use to mess with your opponent's plan. He's got Strength 3, Movement 3, Attack 5, Defense 5, Endurance 8, Special 3, and he's got Willpower 9, so he's got 9 things he can distribute. So you can put 5 in attack and 4 in defense and just sit there and mash things to bits. With Reinforced Glove he's doing 2 stun per hit. He's worth 150 rep, I think, looking at this. I'm not necessarily going to replace my basic resin Batman from the new starter side by side comparison with him just yet, but certainly it'll be very interesting to put the model together and play him in DC and Batman Miniatures game. So up close on the figure itself you've got a fairly well sculpted bat belt and symbol. You've got smaller, less sticky out and easily snap offable ears. You've got a nice flowing cape, you've got the musculature well done. The model itself has very little flash. You've got this line coming down here, and that's pretty much, and this line coming down here, and that's pretty much it. I will have to drill and pin the model to assemble it because of the cobblestone base, and because I'm going to have to be very careful of these hands, because the points of attachment are here and here, and it's going to be reasonably delicate. So I'll likely get the Dremel out for putting some holes in things. I'm going to need to be particularly careful of this leg, so I may just put a large pin going up through this leg, because you can see here it'll go straight into a solid block of metal and be much easier to take a big pin, pop him down, but I'll also need to work out how to get these hands on. I'm thinking it's likely to be a pin plus green stuff. Looking at the model, you've got the Batarang in this arm, and that's the clenched fist. So I think green stuff and super glue is going to be the way to go with these arms. So I will be back in a second with the finished and assembled model to give you a look of the finished product. So here's the assembled Rebirth Batman miniature. I used a pin and glue to stick into the base, a little bit of liquid green stuff and super glue for the arms. So hopefully that'll be plenty to hold those pieces in place. I've also cleaned off the flash. It looks like the little things at the top of the shoulder pads were both vents, so off they've come. But a little turntable to give you an idea of what the miniature looks like. It's a very nice, very well sculpted miniature. Big flowing cloak, good details, good pose. Overall, very, very happy with it. I'll be painting this up reasonably soon after I finish off the Arkham Guards, in order to have enough to use the Batman crew. I may well use him with the card for the starter Batman, but the miniature is far superior, I think. I'll just grab the starter Batman so that you can compare the two. So starter Batman is a tiny bit taller, though some of that may be down to, I think all of that is in fact down to the base, because this is the Rebel base with the slot. This is the cobblestone base, which you pin models to. This Batman is a little bit chunkier. They are both very good sculpts, but I do prefer the Rebirth Batman one, so I may well paint him up first. But yeah, do I recommend it? It's a really nice model. If you are collecting them for painting or collecting them for gaming, I would definitely recommend getting this for the DC miniatures game as opposed to the Batman miniatures game. For the Batman miniatures game, he is 150 rep. That is 3/7 of a tournament force. That is half a 300 rep force. It might be a bit pricey in Batman terms. The starter set Batman is 125 in comparison. But the model is really, really nice. So if you are a collector and painter, or if you play the DCU miniatures game, I absolutely recommend you get this model. If you play only the Batman miniatures game, it's up to you. The model's really good and you could just use it with the card for something else. So yes, I'll be painting him up. He's gone together quite well and quite quickly. Really nice little model. If you've liked this video, hit like or subscribe. If you feel strongly, leave a comment below. Otherwise, good gaming.